On this episode of Friend Code, we're talking about the most recent Nintendo Direct and third-party support for the Switch, and you were laughing. We're using that one. Hello, everyone. Welcome to a new episode of Friend Code, and on this episode, I'm your host, Michael Damiani, and moderator here. I'm joined by Brad Ellis.
Achievements.
Coming to Switch soon. Mike Huba.
Trophies
might be coming to Switch.
That's what I'm talking about.
Very soon. Achievements and trophies.
Both, yeah.
And coins.
And coins.
So the trophies will be coins. They'll be coins. You earn that gold coin.
My dream back in the day was that you unlocked things for your virtual house. So, like, you did well in games, and then you unlocked... It was basically just like Animal Crossing, but like a social space within the infrastructure of Nintendo Switch.
It sounds like
home.
PlayStation Home. Did they have...
PlayStation Home, but like stuff? Nintendo makes it amazing.
Made it.
I mean, yeah.
Because you care about it.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
the Animal Crossing team, just... That's what they're making now.
Something like that would be cool. You invite your friend over, like you get online, they come over to your house, like check out my look. Oh man,
like I platinum.
Look at that. Yeah, look at that.
I platinum Mario Odyssey, so like I have a huge like Mario statue or Bowser statue, or like my hat. Like I can wear the hat.
His hat, with the eyes on it.
Yeah. You got you can put like posters up. You only got that poster because you 100%ed Pokemon.
Exactly.
The most recent Pokemon. Like Kyle would have all those over his all in his wall.
Or he has like a Pokemon pen in the back of the house.
You got the Master Balls. You only get
Master
those
Balls,
if you did that. Bowser's castle decoration. Like you have a rampart house.
You can get the house.
Only possible. Only possible.
Or like the Master Sword in your front lawn.
Yeah.
Come on, Nintendo. Help us out.
Yeah. Blue Falcon as your personal
Blue Falcon
craft right in your driveway. Rolling on up. Good stuff like that. Welcome to Friend Code. And with every episode, or most every episode, I like to start off with a segment called Dear Nintendo, where we look at the player's pull section of a volume of Nintendo Power.
Excellent.
I love this segment.
Yeah, it's the best.
I need to hold this up because
it's the 10.
Oh
yeah.
0, yep. 10 out of 10
I
for
forget
Daniel
how
Bloodworth.
far the scans for these go, so hopefully you can see that. If there is a scan available, you'll be seeing it in much higher resolution. But yes, this is F-Zero GX, the fabled, legendary 1010 review
from Daniel Bloodworth.
Perfect score. And this is from what month is this from?
Were you there, Damiani, when Huber found out about that?
What's this on the side?
I freaked.
I think I was. You went like nuts.
Yeah.
Bloodworth gave a 10 to something.
10. Yeah, 10 out of 10.
Okay,
because he was like, I mean, I already gave a game a 10.
Yeah.
I was like, what? You're never gonna give it. I got all nuts. I was like, you're never gonna give it. You're never gonna give a perfect score. Like a 10 doesn't mean a game is perfect. It just means it's really good.
I already did.
He's like, I already did.
Huber.
Yeah.
You're late to the party, Huber. August of 2003 is when this issue is from.
2003. Wow.
Yeah. Wow. A Mega Man ad. Must be nice. Must be nice to be living in this time period. So jolly. All right. So, the theme of this month's Players Pulse, the letters came in for. This month's Players Pulse celebrates Nintendo Power's 15th anniversary.
Ooh, awesome.
With a letter from our managing editor and a photo of the whole Nintendo Power crew. In addition, the heated Wind Waker debate from Volume 168's Right Away. So, like, right is in writing, and in right is being right. Begins on page 11.
Wait, is this before Wind Waker's out? This issue? When did Wind Waker come out?
It came out in spring of 2003, so it's already out.
Okay, it's already out at this point.
But like, we're gonna go there. I don't know what this debate is.
Okay.
We don't know what this is.
Still fresh.
Yeah.
So there. Oh, here we go. There's a letter from the month from Scott Pellin, the managing editor. I'll get to that last because I want to get into this Wind Waker debate.
Me too.
Here we
go.
Here we go. Daniel Scott from Louisiana. Wind Waker rants and raves. So in Volume 168, they asked what you thought of The Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker. Let the debate begin.
Oh my god.
Here we go. Why is Kyle not here? I have gone through the entire game of The Wind Waker. and I can safely say it's the best Zelda experience I've ever had.
Whoa.
The graphics and music are fantastic. Even the characters are more enjoyable. I really liked Makar, Quill, and the Rito Mailman. And who can imagine a better item than a cannon for your boat? I must congratulate you on this absolutely awesome game.
Leaving a lot out there. Nothing about those dungeons or that beloved Triforce hunt.
Well, we got some more here.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Cherry picking.
We'll get there.
Next up from Dan Olson from Minnesota. What is up with The Legend of Zelda, The Wind Waker? I've always been a fan of The Legend of Zelda, Ocarina of Time, because the storyline is so great and the graphics are incredible. But The Wind Waker, and it says ellipses, and it's please, spelled with like extra A's and E's and a Z. The storyline is all messed up and the graphics are blah.
Ooh, I don't agree with that.
Oh, and when did Link get a grandma and sister?
So good.
Look at this. Here we go.
Oh, it's funny.
He's an orphan, for goodness sakes. I was looking through a recent Nintendo Power magazine, and I saw screenshots of the new Soul Calibur 2. Why wouldn't you have Link? Why wouldn't you have made Link look that good in the Wind Waker? And another thing, Link should have an ocarina, not a stupid baton. Yes.
Wow, dude, guys,
This
upset.
person's
Damiani, quick question.
He's
upset.
burned.
Before this point, the only time Link had family was in Link to the Past, right? His uncle?
His uncle?
Is that the only one?
That's pretty much it.
Okay. I just can't remember.
Grandma and sister.
When you get grandma and sister. The graphics are blah.
Dude, that was the biggest thing I remember, looking back with hindsight.
Yeah, dude.
All I remember-
The Space World trailer.
All I remember is people getting so upset at the way that game looked.
It's
if
because
you
they
weren't around,
showed it like what it could be with like the tech demo at Space World, and it looked
Yeah.
realistic, and he's fighting Ganondorf, and everyone's like, "Oh, dude!"
and then it was just this total
Yes.
right turn. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, if you weren't around at the time of Wind Waker when it came out, that was
Heated.
controversial to say the least.
I feel, I've always argued the way Nintendo handled that switcheroo was the whole reason for any of the backlash. If they just done it in a
If they just came out with cell shaded straight up.
I don't think know if they were necessarily going with that. I think there was a decision to change that while they were still showing off the Space World tech demo stuff. But I do think a little bit of it was that they were nervous. When do we show this off? At least I think Nintendo of America was. Apparently, it seems like Miyamoto was like just so taken back by like the reaction to the reveal at the following Space World that he wanted to like wanted to scale back the amount of footage and media that would be shown going forward, because he didn't think, he goes, that's it, we don't want you, you need to play this, like we don't want you judging this based on
right.
stuff.
Damage control.
Oh yeah, definitely. All right, next up, I feel like it's gonna go positive, negative, bounce backs. Next up, this is a long one from Brent Klaus from Indiana.
Nice.
Legend of Zelda: The Wind Waker is a magnificent and amazing game. It has outstanding gameplay, and the story pulls you in like a grappling hook. Along with having references to Ocarina of Time in the story, it justifies that the hero of time is reborn whenever there is evil to destroy. Now, let's talk about the graphics. I can't believe I scolded the graphics after first seeing them, because after you play a while, you forget about the cell shading and realize that it's a truly wonderful game. I agree with NOA Steve in Volume 167 when he says that The Wind Waker taught him the importance of having faith in a game. I have also found many moral lessons throughout the game. First, you learn that everyone in the world has a destiny, a purpose. Secondly, you come to understand that little people hold a big part in the creation of the future. Lastly, and most importantly, I learned that courage plays a vital part in anything you do, because you are bound to face difficulties in your life that you must pull through. So whenever you think twice about a task that seems hard, think about how Link felt when he saw Goma burst out of the flames. I have a feeling I know what will win overall best game this year.
That was amazing. That was really well
Yeah.
said. I love that he wasn't afraid to say he made an initial mistake. You know, he judged the graphics at first. He played the game and he's like, wow, like I was wrong. You know, that takes a lot of courage and guts to say you were wrong, and he did that, and that's a really good entry. I really like it.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Good.
Here we go.
Is this
Why does he have a baton? It's
Yeah.
like my new favorite.
all right?
Like I want next time Kyle is like praising the Wind Waker, I'm just gonna say, "Yo, why does he have a baton, dude?"
Where's the ocarina?
Yes, let's do it.
So funny,
Oh gosh, yes.
so great.
Super T via the internet. I don't feel that the Wind Waker is more intense or emotional than Ocarina of Time. Sure, you have the new characters close to Link, such as Errol and Grandma, but they just don't seem to have as much personality as those in Ocarina of Time. The game also doesn't flow as smoothly, and you end up feeling rather rushed along the storyline. I think many gamers' opinions of the Wind Waker will stand. If Nintendo were to make a more realistic Zelda game, it would not only be more appealing to gamers in general, but more accepted by the general public.
Twilight
Look at that.
Princess.
Look at that sentiment. That was a sentiment that stuck around. Yeah, that's right. That's kind of why Nintendo backpedaled. Because they were going to make the Wind Waker 2. And they're like, I think we got to make Twilight Princess.
Yeah.
That's feedback. Andy Lambert via the internet. Faith played a major role in me buying The Legend of Zelda The Wind Waker. I admit that when I saw The Wind Waker, I thought it was going to be a flop. A first in the Zelda universe. I was totally wrong.
There it is.
The Legend of Zelda
love
The
it.
Wind Waker is a different experience. It's very innovative because there's so much to do. The graphics even help its cause. It's fresh and new-looking title. It brings forth the fun factor that all of the Zelda games give. It's challenging and funny at the same time. The new look of things actually makes it different and better than all the Zelda games before it. It's a masterpiece
Hot take.
that is not only eye candy, but a masterpiece that restored what we thought would be lost in the void of today's technology.
That's awesome. Wind Waker is the Code Veronica of Legend of Zelda. It's like this like this outlier of the franchise.
But
you know?
people love Wind Waker.
Yeah, I
more
think
than
Zelda
people love Code
2
Veronica,
is
I feel like.
the...
I encounter many people who say Code Veronica is their favorite. You know, their favorite in the series. There's some people who say Wind Waker their favorite.
Dude,
right?
like a lot of people say Wind Waker.
I think
Yeah.
nowadays
Awesome.
the Wind Waker is held in very high
Yeah, it
regard
is. It is.
by most people.
Do you think, not getting into the 7.8 meme, Damiani, but do you think the HD version is better than the original version?
No.
No.
The original version, it's just the aesthetic alone. I think they ruined the aesthetic.
relive.
with all the bloom and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like the Dolphin,
Do you
Project
think
Dolphin.
the expedited Triforce section is better, or do you think it takes
it
away
it
from it?
alleviates the problem, but I think it's a band-aid. It doesn't address that it's still mostly there.
Yeah.
And I felt like it wasn't the... They could have either done dungeons or they could have made the quest a little bit more meaningful. Like some of them are. The ghost ship one, the pirate ghost ship, where you gotta get the map to find out the lunar cycle, and then you gotta track down the ghost ship, go on it and stuff. I was like, oh, this is a little bit more meaningful. But then like having to collect all those stupid like butterfly things to get the land deed or whatever to go. I was like, no, this is stupid. I don't want to. This is a boring like collectathon.
How about
quest.
you, Brad? Do you like original more?
I don't know. I never finished the HD one.
Okay.
I want them to mod.
Do you think those because well, I mean we're gonna get into current news and the direct and everything. Do you think the Twilight Princess and Wind Waker HD versions will be ported to Switch?
I hope so.
Very likely.
Cool.
I mean, I hope so. It would be nice. I was gonna say.
It just seems like so much of the work is done already, you know?
Yeah.
be
I
a
think
lot.
maybe for the Wind Waker because it didn't sell as well. I think is it they hoped on Wii U.
Do you know if Twilight Princess sold more?
I don't know, but like Twilight Princess was so towards the end,
late, yeah.
But it also sold very well. The original version sold extremely well, whereas for some reason, part of the reason they changed direction on the visual style, not just from like feedback from NOA, was that sales were a little bit below expectations for the Wind Waker back in the day.
Yeah.
So they had some numbers to be like, eh. Anyway, I would like to see a modded version of like the GameCube Wind Waker running on like Project Dolphin, like so HD.
Yeah, sure.
And then take some of the gameplay fixes in the HD version of the Wind Waker, throw them into that, have the best of both.
So like HD director's cut.
Or if they release it on Switch, just give me an option to have the old visuals, like a visual aesthetic. But I think that's a lot of work.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Next up, this is from Blake Gibson. I recently bought the Wind Waker and I am very impressed. My favorite character besides Link is the King of Red Lions.
Ooh.
Who wouldn't love a talking boat for all those long trips from island to island? My favorite weapon is the hero's bow and all the arrow types. So,
What, bomb, fire, ice? Is that it? Or light?
yeah, fire and ice, and then the light arrows at the end.
Breath of the Wild hype right there.
Holy crap, this is a epic one right here.
Is this the hot take one?
From Leslie Jacobson from Wisconsin.
Let's go, Leslie.
Thank you for making a truly amazing series known as The Legend of Zelda. I am currently enrolled in a mythology course in my high school. My teacher let me do my project portfolio for the class on The Legend of Zelda. So far, I have compared events in The Legend of Zelda games with themes from classic mythology, including the initiation and flood stories from The Wind Waker. Before The Wind Waker hit store shelves, many angry letters were posted on the internet, and even in Nintendo Power, about the poor cartoon-like graphics. I am here to say the graphics do not matter to the Legend of Zelda series. If gamers consider the first Legend of Zelda by today's standards, the graphics are poor. What gamers do remember is the story. The Wind Waker has met and even surpassed the high expectations of a Zelda legend. Right from the beginning, when I saw Link's face as he grudgingly takes the green clothes to waving to his grandma on Outset Island before he leaves, I knew this was going to be a better game than Ocarina of Time. I was addicted until the end because I wanted to know what happened to Hyrule. Myths and legends are not intended to be real, and that is the reason for the stylized art. The point of the Legend of Zelda series is to entertain with an enriching story while providing a fun and engaging environment for gamers. This has been thoroughly accomplished in the Wind Waker.
Very cool.
Going for the story angle.
Yeah,
here.
I was like hearing all this emphasis on story. I'm like,
I'm kind of glad someone else besides me ever expresses this opinion, because then maybe I don't know how eloquently they put into words there. That was pretty decent. Some people care about the story of the individual games.
Yeah.
Skyward Sword, Kyle Bossman.
And the Wind Waker, I would argue, has one of the best stories of any individual stories of any of the games. It's a really good story. I would like to see them. Like, it's possible. You can do a good story. Mm-hmm. And the whole thing about myths and legends, like, I really like that.
Do you like the Skyward Sword story?
No. Because the end sequence pretty much says, even though they got the Triforce and made their wish, all you got to do is time travel. That wish should have affected everyone there immediately, but villain was able to like, oh, I'm not affected. I'm gonna go time travel back. Undo your wish now. I'm like, what? No, you made the wish. It's over. You lost. Like, you can't now time travel after. I was like, no, I'm time traveling. I'm like, all right, we're done. You basically just, okay, cool. Whatever.
Where would Girahim rank on your all-time Zelda franchise characters?
He's definitely a standout and memorable character.
Top 10?
Top
10 Zelda characters?
He's top 10 for me.
I have to really think about that.
He's in there.
Really have to think about that one, Huber. Possibly.
Great villain, dude. Great villain.
Oh, the revelation of like what he is too.
Yeah, so cool. He's like David Bowie. He's going like all the time.
Okay. Nice. Almost done. Edgar via the internet. I feel that the Wind Waker could have been better. The main quest, not including the side quests such as the trading sequences and collecting heart pieces, was too short. The Wind Waker was a little more than half as long as Ocarina of Time's main quest. I've also noticed that all the previous Zelda games, I think, have had 8 or more dungeons. On the plus side, the Wind Waker is very beautiful and entertaining for as long as it lasts. So they're coming at short length. I think they're mostly going with dungeon count, which is true. Majora's Mask did not have 8 dungeons. Zelda 2 does not have 8 dungeons either. It has
How many
6
in two?
palaces.
6?
6 palaces in the Great Palace, so 7.
How many hours is Majora's Mask?
There's 4 main dungeons.
Damiani, we made this promise years ago.
What?
This October, us 3, let's stream Majora's Mask.
Because Huber's never played it.
I've never
Yeah.
played it.
He's never played it.
We're doing it.
So it'd
One
have
of the
to be
biggest
Lock it in.
holes in my life.
Lock that in.
A huge hole in my heart where Majora's Mask
I'll tell you, it's
probably would have been my
pretty.
favorite.
It's very unique.
It would have been my
sure.
favorite.
We're gonna have
I
to
know
guide
it.
you, Hubert.
It's got that like horror Halloween vibe.
It does.
Yeah,
It's
it does.
disturbing.
I honestly, it's all because of GoldenEye. Is why I didn't play it.
GoldenEye, take up your life.
It took like GoldenEye when GoldenEye was big.
until past 2000.
Yeah.
4 years of your life. Just
Every day
taking
of my life
GoldenEye.
was GoldenEye, and when it wasn't GoldenEye, it was like Mario Party.
That's true.
Literally, Huber's calendar. GoldenEye today, Mario Party today.
GoldenEye,
GoldenEye, Mario Party, GoldenEye. It's like that was a 4-year gap in Huber's life right there.
Yeah. At least I played Ocarina. That was
Yeah, you did.
If I didn't play Ocarina,
It's okay, dude. Make it right.
yeah, I even had the gold cartridge. Like,
Yeah.
but then, how did Majora just slip by? It was GoldenEye. It had to have been.
I don't know. I had it.
God.
I thought you would have been all over when I got it.
Yeah.
Eh.
Did it come out late in N64's life?
Like 2000, right?
What?
Majora's Mask
Yeah,
is
yeah,
2000.
Was like,
October 2000.
and then when was
North
GameCube?
America.
2000.
GameCube came out in 2001.
2001?
So like right at the end. There.
Yeah.
It's a
kinda.
year,
Yeah.
year difference.
Standard Zelda console cycle.
Okay, yeah.
The end.
Yeah.
I just kind of was browsing through these. It isn't really. They're all. It's mostly the same sentiment. Like people who had a different opinion at first, a negative opinion became positive.
Yeah, dude.
People just talking about their favorite items and stuff.
Fine game. Damn fine game.
7.8.
Someone said that Grandma's powerful soup puts Gatorade to shame. I like that one. That was a good one.
Yeah, the soup.
But yeah, that I mean, yeah, we spent a long time on that, but yeah, good debate. I like that. I actually
Yeah,
have
it's
given
cool.
like a. I mean, that's a doesn't come too often.
No.
A situation like that.
I love
but
how
they-
willing people were to change their opinion on it.
Yeah, that was a good discussion. That was almost like that could have been like a whole episode of one of these right here.
It's really
Let
good.
them have the
Yo, enter the Matrix on the cover.
Enter-
Hype right there.
Oh, I bet it is.
Canon.
Look at that.
Wait, I remember that game.
Canon,
Enter the
dude.
Matrix. It wasn't.
You
what was
play
that?
as I forget his name. Maybe Ghost. No.
I think you have 2 characters.
Yeah, it was Ghost and Jada Pinkett Smith.
Yeah.
They were cool.
I remember sewers. That's what I remember from that
It's
game.
cool because in the movie, Jada Pinkett Smith rolls up on the freeway with the car and Neo like lands
Yeah,
on it.
But that's where
In
it
the
ends.
game, like
Yeah.
you lead up to that.
Yeah, that's the ending of
cool.
the game, right? Or one of
I don't
the
remember its
chapters.
ending, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I played it.
Yeah,
This is
it's a okay
yeah.
6.
Okay.
Swimming in 6s.
Oh, swimming in 6s. Matrix, good stuff. Woo, Matrix, baby. There was another Nintendo Direct. There was an Indies Direct that we talked about last
Yeah.
episode. And we had a proper Nintendo Direct. Big, meaty, 45-minute one. Longer than E3 showcase right there.
Damn, that's crazy.
A lot of big expectations. And I think the biggest takeaway from that 45 minutes was the announcements of Wolfenstein 2 and Doom coming to Switch.
Crazy.
And the visual confirmation, definitive confirmation of LA Noire
Yeah.
coming to Switch.
Yeah.
Now, real quick, Wolfenstein 2, no footage of it shown yet. And it's coming out next year. So it's coming
Yeah.
out months after.
Do you think
the
that's a
original release.
problem?
No, at this point, no. I think we're in the phase where companies are starting to see that Switch is like right now is like another Wii, another PS2 situation.
Yeah.
It is just selling
Hot
everywhere.
Hotcakes.
And and not only that, they're seeing these indie titles that have been supporting Switch since day one, selling not only the best on Switch if they're new versions, new releases, but even old releases coming out, selling more than all of their previous versions combined. Because, and I think it's not just the power of the popularity behind the system, but it's portability.
That's why.
And I think this argument has gone around a few times before, but I think third parties are finally starting to see that it doesn't. Yes, Switch doesn't have that graphical power to compete with PS4 and Xbox One, and then in that regard with their games, but where they do have a huge strength is in being able to take that thing on the go.
Yeah.
And being able to take Doom, being able to take Wolfenstein 2 or LA Noire on the go. Two games that are already been out. I mean, Doom is huge because of it, like being known as like a technical achievement
and graphics.
Yes. And gory and violent.
Paraded.
Yeah, like it's like there you go.
I had Doom on Super Nintendo.
Yeah, and Doom 64.
Yeah.
So Doom has been on.
Dude, the Super Nintendo cartridge was red. It was really cool.
Red soaked blood.
Yeah, it was cool.
No footage. So no footage of LA Noire. No footage of Wolfenstein 2 yet. Not ready. There's footage and impressions from Doom. Bloodworth actually got to go check it out.
Yeah.
It's currently only running at 30 frames per second.
Yeah.
And it's locked at 720, both docked and undocked.
Yeah. Which is probably going to be the case. You know, NBA 2K18 came out. Those games are traditionally in 60 frames. Even like back in the day, like on Dreamcast, they were like 60 frames. But the Switch version is 30. So if the trend is 720, 30 frames, do you guys think that that's a deal breaker, or do you think them just being represented on the Switch and the portability being the price of visuals and performance is a fine trade?
It depends on the game and when the game comes out. Like if it, for example, Sonic Mania, I was like, oh, I'm getting this on Switch. It's gonna look the same pretty much on everything else. But if, let's say, Wolfenstein came out on Switch and consoles and PC the same day, I'd be like, haha, no way. No way. Playing this on, like, way more powerful stuff.
Yeah.
I think right now, again, with the other question you asked about, is this okay for now? I think it's okay for now, as these companies are testing the waters or just shifting gears to include Switch in their production pipeline. 720/30 is not, I mean, that's the absolute bottom you can go right now. I think going forward, companies need to shoot for 720/60. I think you need to have 720/60 on Switch, and you won't get as much blowback from that.
Absolutely.
Right now, I think there will be a little bit, but everyone's like, oh, they're just trying. Like, if they can prove it's possible, it sets the foundation for going forward for other companies to look at that. And as we're going to get into it here, there is a lot of companies that are considering jumping onto the Switch bandwagon. Now, one key thing, though, here. Doom is a huge game. Big game. Switch comes on cartridges with a finite size limit, which has been starting to show some problems here. Doom, all of Doom's single-player content is on that cartridge you're going to get. But the multiplayer is a 9 gigabyte download. You have to have an internet connection to get the whole game you bought for PC, PS4, Xbox One, whatever you bought it on before.
Yeah.
You don't get all that from the get-go. You gotta have to download that to get all that on there. And their argument's like, we don't know if at this point anyone's gonna want to play the multiplayer on Switch since it's an older game. We think the focus should have been on the single player and getting that out, which I agree with.
Yes.
But like you mentioned already, NBA 2K18. It had the same thing. It had on the box, you must have an internet connection because the file sizes are too big. I'm sure Wolfenstein 2 is going to probably have the same thing with that as well. So that's going to be a little bit of an issue. And you can say, oh, multiple cartridges. It already cost more
to make those
cartridges. You're seeing some physical Switch releases have that Switch tax, an extra $10 for the physical version of a Switch game.
LNR is $10 more, right?
There you go.
Yeah.
So do you think that, even if everyone gets on board, do you think that's going to be the bottleneck? Not just even Switch's graphic stuff. Do you think watch people find a way to work around that? Is the storage size going to be the ultimate problem, you think, in holding some people back?
I think with this generation, maybe not. But, you know,
whatever's next on the horizon.
PS5 and, you know,
Xbox
Scorpio,
2.
I'm just going to keep calling it. But like PS5 and the next Xbox are closer than I ever thought they would be in 2017. You know, those are on the horizon. So I think for this generation, the Switch is fine. And it's just managing your expectations of how long this system is going to last. I feel like it's shorter and shorter each generation now. 3DS is still kicking around, but I feel like Switch, as long as we anticipate, the next Nintendo console in a couple years, I think it's fine. And maybe Switch could eventually take the place of 3DS. If we went that route, it was like, all right, new Nintendo, the Switch is going to be like the new handheld, and fill that void that the 3DS is going to leave behind, because 3DS is still going, which is crazy.
Yeah, it's still going really strong. Metroid Samus Returns just came out recently, and you got Pokemon Ultra Sun and Moon on the horizon.
But yeah, I'm nervous when PS5 comes out if the Switch is going to be able to keep up, because, another generational
we've
leap.
seen that happen. They're like last two consoles.
Yeah.
Which that just looks really old and dated.
Like, quickly.
Yeah.
For some reason, I feel like, we're on the subject here, because I don't want to move on. I want to talk about this since we're on it. I feel like a refresh would be easier for Nintendo to do from a development standpoint, because it is focuses on mobile so much, on being a portable system.
Yeah.
I think they could I don't know how easy this is, but I think they definitely can focus on increasing the hard drive capacity to work around the cartridge. The cartridge would just be like when you had old floppy disks or CDs. This has like the core files, and then it installs in there, and you're gonna need, I think, the internet connection thing. It still stinks for some people as time goes on.
Yeah. It's
going to be less and less of an issue. So it just has like the core install files on there, connects to whatever server to pull them down for whatever game it is. It's just like install, like when you install a game on your computer and stuff, like at the very beginning. They'll treat it like that, but like you'll have more storage on there, so like they don't have to worry so much about cramming so much onto the cartridge, because the Switch has limited, like very finite storage capacity. That's one thing. I do think in terms of actual like the GPU and the actual power of the system,
we're good for a few years.
Yeah, but they could like update that, like not like that's something they could easily justify doing, because like think of it like your phone, like every 2 years you're upgrading.
True, yeah, they could do a Switch Pro,
like a new Nintendo Switch, like they do a 3DS.
Like it's called Switch, like Switch 2 or Switch X or
Switch
Plus,
something
like that.
Totally, I could totally see that.
I don't think that'll be the next step. I think the next step will be like a slight redesign,
like
especially the dock. They gotta do something. They need to work on the dock.
Cheap little
the dock. Yeah. They need to figure out that situation. Like either just have it built into the new system, that they have like that HDMI thing that just goes in your system. You don't need the dock anymore. Like forget the dock. You don't need the dock. It's pointless at this point. Or whatever they're gonna do. Maybe they just decide to go completely mobile, and like it does have an adapter you have to buy to connect to your TV, but like it's marketed more as just strictly a mobile device or a tablet.
Nintendo
anyway,
Switch 4K.
I do think I do expect to see a lot of updates with Switch in incremental amounts, because I think the mentality is it's going to be treated more like a portable mobile device.
Yeah, I think they'll treat it how they're doing with 3DS. How many versions there's been of that and stuff, and upgrades and whatnot.
That huge turning point's going to be when online stuff goes into practice. When is that? Is there a hard date on that?
No hard date.
Next year.
Just next year. Okay. That's a whole other discussion we can get into.
That is a big day for the Switch.
Yeah.
Let's see how that
works. It'll be really nice to learn what was really going on with that. Backing up to the third-party stuff that led to this. Some other games. So we talked about Wolfenstein 2. We talked about Doom. We talked about L.A. Noire. Big things there. Especially, so real quick, L.A. Noire.
Yeah.
I think that is RockStar. It's their litmus test. Yeah. It's like, if this sells decently or somehow sells really well, we're going to reconsider some of our other games.
Red Dead.
So I don't think Red Dead would happen next. I think what would be next would be GTA 5.
Yes.
They will put GTA 5 on there.
Sell 100 million more
GTA 5
copies.
on the go. And then I think if that also sells well, then they're like, all right, Red Dead. Yeah. Like, do. Because that one I think is probably such a huge technical hurdle for that one. Yeah. That's a lot of work, I think. That might be too far on the extreme to scale it back down, but they can show their support by bringing almost everything else they have to Switch, and then going like in the future, like we will consider
GTA 5 would be huge.
Yeah. And some kind of like, imagine if they put like some unique like things in there, like amiibo support.
Oh god.
Unlock the Mario outfit.
What do you mean imagine?
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
I mean, there's so many mods on PC.
So. Like,
official Nintendo stuff would be really.
it'd be interesting if they let you wear Mario outfit.
Yeah,
while
murdering
shooting
people.
yeah. I look forward to that if they do that. So I think that's the situation in LA Noire. People keep asking why LA Noire. I think that's why. Some other companies now are changing their tune because they're seeing this. They're seeing the success of Switch. They're realizing how this portability angle is huge. It is something that people are buying into. And they're like, wow, we need to figure out how to get some of their stuff on there. And it's amazing how these high-end titles are the ones they're trying. Because the next one is Final Fantasy 15.
Yes.
Now, a few weeks back, we talked about this rumor that there was some interest on Square Enix's part. But Eurogamer just did an interview with Tabata, who said the 15 team is exploring options with Nintendo to bring 15 to the Switch. And here's the actual quote. We're actually doing very specific technical investigations into what's possible at the moment. Where we are at the moment, we've completed those tests and have worked out where the ground lies. We're currently in the middle of the discussion and debate about what we should be doing and how to realize that on the Switch. The other thing you see, the mobile version, the PC version, one thing we value is to optimize the way the game plays and the experience for the individual hardware it's on, rather than a one-size-fits-all approach. We can't currently announce anything. We haven't come to a full decision on the best way to do it yet. We're having very open, frank discussions with Nintendo at the moment about what they think is the best thing to do, and it's all under investigation. So the fact that they're talking with Nintendo, and I think they're also talking with like Unreal a bit about what they can do with like getting it even more optimized on Switch.
Yeah.
It sounds like that statement about it's not a one size fits all. It sounds like they're willing to put the resources into developing not quite the portable version, the other mobile one. The mobile version they call it.
I hope they put that on there.
Yeah, a scaled down version.
I want to play that mobile version.
Runs on that, especially if they could somehow get comrades on there, and you're on your Switch, you come like take it on the go, and you just have to local connect to people or something.
Yes.
Like local Wi-Fi
isn't it like
co-op.
turn-based the mobile one? Or
Yeah,
something like
the mobile
that?
one's terrible.
I want to play I want to try the mobile one, dude.
Yeah. Sounds cool.
I think getting
comrades with you guys.
So I got a lot of people on Twitter who, when I posed this question, like, "Oh, this might be a big deal," or "What do you think about this?" People are like, "Why would I want to play technically?" This game was a technical like marvel. Like it was a showcase of graphics for Square Enix and the industry. Yeah, it had its flaws, the frame rate issues aside, but you're telling me you're gonna put it on Switch, it's gonna be even worse. Like, why would I want to play that version? And it's like also the portability, like playing play go. But I think it speaks to the significance.
Yeah.
These companies can get these huge games running on Switch, even if they're slightly compromised. But they're already released games. It's clear this wasn't thought of from the conception to the production pipeline to release. It'll make companies go back and rethink, if we start from the beginning with this in mind, we might be able to make a better version for Switch.
And 2017 has shown me that it is never too late to play any game. So, sure, a lot of people have already played Doom, a lot of people have already played Final Fantasy 15, but a lot of people haven't already played Doom and haven't already played Final Fantasy 15. So anytime a version of a game comes out, you're getting new people to play it, you're getting a new audience, and you're getting people that have already finished it. It's making it relevant again. You might dip your toes back into it, like, Doom on the go is a new way to play Final Fantasy 15. Awesome. So it's never too late to re-release any game.
I think the on-the-go factor is the biggest selling point, because I'm thinking of like the Wii U ports that we got like a year after they came out, like Batman, and I think there's Assassin's Creed 3 on there. I think that was it, and like no one cared. No one.
No one cares about those. And like I know people like you have mobile phones, but they're all touchscreen stuff. Touchscreen inputs mostly. The Switch lets you take traditional controls and touchscreen on the go as well.
Yeah.
So I think you're seeing like indie games, especially, are probably doing so well on Switch because of the portability factor. It's probably the best way to play them on the go compared to any other device.
Yeah.
And speaking of like what you just said, Huber, it's never too late. And what I just said about like portability indies, Inside just got announced it's coming to Switch as well.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, Inside's coming to Switch.
That's a great game on the go.
A very good game, and it's like they haven't given it a firm release date. Just said, we're bringing it to Switch.
Play that like underneath the covers in your bed, inside. Oh my goodness! That's hype.
Undercover.
Yeah.
Covers.
Yeah, I'm playing it fully engulfed in the covers, playing inside. Oh my gosh.
And we're seeing the payoffs for some of this stuff as well. Both payoffs in that companies are now announcing stuff sooner. At TGS, was confirmed. Koei Tecmo confirmed that Attack on Titan 2 coming to PS4, Xbox One, and Switch. Mm-hmm. So they're like, no, we understand how like Switch is huge. You know, we need to be on there. Yeah. So like, it's not the biggest title, but it's a decent one. The first one's pretty decent, good game. Mm-hmm. Pretty big franchise, Attack on Titan. Yeah. So especially in Japan, it's a significant thing to announce on there. And speaking of TGS, before I forget, I don't know if this is 100% true or not in terms of like the fact that this happened is true, but I don't know if the fact that I'm about to say is true. Nintendo had official staff at TGS at the third-party exhibit booths to help with their software and demonstrating it. Someone was claiming it's the first time ever that Nintendo has had any official presence in terms of staff. Nintendo never goes to TGS and has like a booth. They never do a press conference or anything like that around TGS. They have no quote-unquote official presence there in that form. But I always thought like there's got to be like a staff member who goes there to check stuff out. But there are people wearing like Switch shirts, the red shirts with Switch, visible at TGS. So Nintendo official presence visible at TGS is a big thing. I think that's helping their relationship with third parties as well. It's like we care. We're going to be there.
It's good. It's good news.
But also the success, like these games selling well. Mario plus Rabbids, the best-selling non-Nintendo game on Switch now. I know it's only been like 6-7 months since Switch came out. What else was its competition? But
it sold. Non-Nintendo. Sorry,
non-Nintendo. Got it. But what was it? Some games, I forget which game it is. I apologize. Shipped like 500,000 copies. So it means it's sold more than that at least. And yes, it's got Mario characters in it.
Yeah, it's.
But I think that's like the high end. I think it's sold way more than 500,000. I think it easily is going to break 1 million copies like in a month or two of sales. Like it's going to be one of the best selling Switch titles by the end of the year. Like I think only Zelda and like Odyssey will probably outsell. I bet it outsells Mario Kart. I bet it outsells Mario Kart by the end. Like Mario plus Rabbids. It's a huge game. But yes, it has Nintendo characters in it, but like if Nintendo helped with the marketing of some of these third-party games, the leverage they have with that, I think that helps a lot. Yeah. But also, Nintendo can lend their characters and IPs out to other people for those kind of collaborations. We've talked about this to death, the dream and collaborations.
The dream of the Bowser demon in Doom. You know, the Bowser boss.
What, do you want to kill Bowser?
I'll blow a hole in him in Doom. Double barrel shotgun, let's go.
Huber would let Bowser win each time. He's like, sorry guys, I couldn't get past this part of the game. This is the end of the game.
I'd let him kill me once so I could see the death animation. But then I'd just be like, I gotta put you down, Bowser.
Jeez.
Gotta put you down.
I didn't expect that.
So yeah, you do see it can be rewarded. Like something like that, like going back to like Wii or even Wii U, there wasn't like the lending of characters, but like I remember like Zack and Wiki. It's a high profile third party release by Capcom for Wii, and it just didn't sell well because it had like an initial push of the reveal. And then no one,
Day one,
Nintendo stopped talking about it actively. Like there weren't ads and there wasn't like not nearly as much marketing. Like imagine if that game had like Mario characters in it or something. Zack and Wiki like Mario Kingdom or something.
Dude, that game's so cool.
It would have like sold gangbusters. So Nintendo does have power to help out, and they know they can wield it now.
Yeah,
wield it. Last one on the announcements of that I could catch of companies saying, "All right, we might bring our game to Switch." GameSpot interviewed Shinji Mikami. I think a Switch version of The Evil Within 2 would be interesting. I'd like to try it if I had the chance. First, I'd like to buy a Switch myself. I had to borrow Zelda with the Switch from another staff member to play it.
Nice. Everyone's playing Zelda.
I need to borrow that. Like, hook me up.
So nothing, obviously nothing concrete, but
that is oh man.
You're seeing these statements come out, man.
I just syndromed out so hard. I'm totally doing that as an episode. Games that made you borrow a system. Love it. Sorry. Good idea. How do I feel? I feel good about that. Mikami himself talking about that. Evil Within 2 poised to be a huge game this year. Sales and critically. Yeah, that is good news. And again, it is another M-rated graphic game. Like, Nintendo is not shying away from core gamers, you know, if you want to say that. Like, I feel like the Wii U and the Wii, you know, went the other way and shied away from like graphic violence maybe a little bit, and now it feels like you don't really get much more hardcore than Doom and Wolfenstein 2 and The Evil Within 2, you know? I mean,
Yeah.
So
again, he doesn't even know like his own Switch. Like, clearly nothing's been done yet. This is like really like a pipe dream for Mikami, but
he's open.
Just saying it is
and Bethesda, you know, Bethesda's involved. So.
Oh yeah, that's the big
yeah,
there.
You know, Skyrim and Doom and Wolfenstein. So Evil Within is a
possibility,
very possible.
And Skyrim's coming too.
Yeah.
So
apparently
Skyrim coming November 17th, and if you look at the November calendar for Nintendo, it's Skyrim and Resident Evil Revelations 1 and 2 is like their big November releases, two big third party. And I know I keep making fun of Skyrim and stuff because it's come out a million times, but it's a GTA 5 thing. Skyrim 5, Elder Scrolls 5, Skyrim, and Grand Theft Auto 5 are like the two biggest games of last generation that still are selling. Oh, this GTA 5 is selling like gangbusters, dominating NPD month to month still. Those are the games you can release at any time and they'll sell well. And like getting Skyrim,
because you're gonna get people that know it so intimately. You're gonna get Skyrim fanatics that are like, fine, I can play it on the go.
Curious.
Fine, sure, okay, it's been a while. Sure, I have this game on 4 consoles already, but whatever. Like, but then you're also gonna get so many people that have never played Skyrim, you know, and you can say that. You know, it's on other systems. It's on PC. Oh, the best version's on PC. Like, I see that argument all the time. PCs intimidate a lot of people. You know, it's intimidating. People don't just hang out and play games on their PC as much as we think. Like, so for people that own Switch that have never played Skyrim that are maybe intimidated by PC, like, being able to just get the cartridge, load it up, play it anywhere. I think it's a big deal. I think Skyrim's gonna sell well.
I wonder how many of those people didn't have a PS3 or Xbox though.
That never played
Skyrim?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, all it takes is for them to miss the boat.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, anything's possible, I guess.
One last point about this. Skyrim's using it. Revelations apparently is using it. Another way Nintendo can help leverage this, their power to help sell third-party games, Amiibo support.
If I can roll through Revelations 2 as Barry Burton and Donkey Kong, Goaty. Yeah. Let's go.
We have his bongos.
Let's go.
Yeah, would it be punches or would it be bongos?
No, dude,
like,
he's got the cannon from 64.
Oh, yeah. If he shoots you, it's gonna hurt. He says that every time.
You like kill a zombie. He's like, yeah. Dude, just hire us, Nintendo.
Yeah, we're done.
Please.
God.
Can you imagine those headlines? Like, Donkey Kong just like punching a zombie in Revelations.
Oh,
They'd be the greatest.
Everyone would freak out.
It's a good thought. It's good stuff. Yeah, I mean, Chris can punch boulders. Donkey Kong shows up. It's like,
get him in there.
Donkey Kong punch.
Yeah.
Does Captain Falcon punch as well?
Like I see the trailer already. You know, they fist bump. Boom.
Just like Donkey Kong in the story. Like someone's talking to him. He's just like,
okay, now that you did that, I see a scene of Donkey Kong doing his rolls down a hall of like monsters and knocking them over. And he starts like banging the ground and like shaking.
yeah.
Oh my god!
Really intense atmosphere. Really tense.
And on the
Donkey
headset,
Kong, yeah.
on the headset of Donkey Kong, it's cranky. Like I would have taken him out with one punch. And
Yeah.
stuff. Oh my gosh!
Oh.
Yes.
I'm just thinking raid mode in Revelations
Even that, yeah.
is such a mode where you can get as wacky and crazy as you want. Like raid mode lends itself to that. So you add Amiibo into raid mode, anything could happen.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Oof. Just coming off that high right now.
Would love it. Would love it.
So I think the biggest takeaway is that things are looking pretty optimistic for the Switch when it comes to third parties.
Yeah.
Like all the right signs are being shown right now.
Night and day compared to Wii U.
Yeah.
Yeah, 98 compared
A
to
lot
Wii
of
U.
momentum.
Feel way more confident than back around like earlier this year, leading into Switch's launch about where's those third parties, Nintendo, same things, same song, same dance.
And it's not even just the third parties. It's we already had Zelda and we're getting Mario. How long did that take on Wii U?
Oh yeah.
You know?
Well, you didn't even really get
You didn't even get a main
Mario kind of. I don't count
You didn't
3D
get
World as a main Mario.
a tradition. Yeah, you didn't
Yeah.
really get like that. I love
The
it.
Galaxy successor, like I would
Exactly,
say.
exactly.
I mean, we love 3D.
Love 3D
but
World. 10 out of 10.
Not calling it.
And
And you didn't even get a real
Zelda
Zelda
didn't come
remake.
out till the end.
And you got some HD versions, yeah. So
Yeah,
I
too.
think having that right out of the gate is a huge deal. Huge. That carried the momentum. So we're riding that momentum, you know, and just the spacing out of Zelda in the summer and now Mario coming up. Or when was that? Like March or whatever?
yeah, so
May?
Zelda was at launch with
Yeah.
March.
Yeah.
Then you had Mario Kart 8 Deluxe in
April.
May.
Or was it May?
April,
Okay.
April.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Street Fighter was in May, which still
yeah.
sold well.
Yeah.
Everyone made fun of it, but it still sold well. Like everyone's like, haha, it's sold. Then you had Splatoon. You had, Arms first in June, Splatoon in July. We just had
lot of
Mario
stuff.
Mario plus Rabbids, which is the third party but collaboration.
Yeah.
Got Odyssey next month.
So it's kind of
we
scary,
got
though.
Fire
right?
Emblem Warriors next month, a week before.
It's a little scary, you know. You get Zelda and Mario. These aren't games that just come out. You know, Mario and Zelda take so long.
Yeah, it's like a crock pot. The slow cook.
The slowest
Cooks, yeah.
cook. The slowest.
over
Like
that Wii U
Miyamoto and
generation.
Yeah.
Reggie are just like, let me just preheat the oven. That'll take a while. All right, let me start baking that in there. Like, this takes so long. So, are you concerned for 2018? You know, or is 2018 going to be the year of Metroid and the year of Donkey Kong, bringing F-Zero back perhaps? You know, I feel like they're going to have to lean in on the secondary core franchises of Nintendo. What do you guys think?
I mean, they also, from the Direct as well, got the confirmation of Xenoblade Chronicles 2 release date, which is December.
Yeah.
So they fulfilled their promise.
Yeah.
I mean, there's still time to delay it, but assuming it comes out, then that came out in this in 2017 as well. I mean, yeah, this adds a huge year to have, but it's also one less title that would have been for next year if it got pushed into 2018. The most recent Direct, they showed enough, like the indie games and some other games coming out through the Q1 of next year. I think.
But are those enough? I mean, I'm talking the biggest hitters, you know, like Zelda and Mario alone are the momentum for the Switch. They sell Switches.
So I don't think these are coming out next year. I could be wrong, but like I really don't think they are. I don't think Metroid Prime 4 or whatever it's going to be called is next year.
Yeah.
It'll be shown off and unveiled next year by E3 at the latest, I feel. You got the Pokemon Switch game, which is in the pipeline, which is going to be a huge thing as well.
For sure.
And yes, you already talked about Zelda and Mario. Those are coming out this year, so it's going to be a few years for their refresh. However,
At least.
you had Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which came out, but which was the Wii U version. Nice to let it like enjoy itself.
A new Smash.
And there you go.
A new Smash.
This has been like the longest going rumor that they have not confirmed yet. Is that Smash Brothers for Wii U / 3DS? Like it's getting there's the Switch iteration that's coming, which will have all the content from both versions.
I need a
possibly
new one.
new characters.
Give me a
new-
new-
I want a new one.
Yeah,
But
I don't think like if 2018 is the year of deluxe editions for Switch, that is gonna grind that momentum to a screeching halt for me personally.
I don't think. I think the reason we haven't heard about it is because they don't want to do that. They don't want to squeeze a lot of those, and I don't think they're going to do that many of them. I would think Smash Bros. Would be their last one if they do one of those. But you're right. The more time goes on that they don't talk about it, if it's true, the more likely it is we're getting a brand new Smash Brothers as well.
Yeah.
So you still have those.
A lot of franchises to dip into.
I mean,
you know, F-Zero, Animal Crossing.
Animal Crossing on Switch. I mean, they have the mobile thing they gotta talk about first and get that out there. But I mean, I'm sure that.
But what do you guys see that is as big as? I mean, nothing is as big as Mario and Zelda. Like, what is the one franchise, the one game that can carry the Switch through 2018 by itself? I think Smash is definitely one of those pillars. If a new Smash came out in the summer of 2018, that would be humongous. But what is one other franchise that is like, okay, huge Switch exclusive, like this is enough, this is good, not to mention with all the other in addition to the third parties and the indies and stuff, I still think you need that massive exclusive.
If that Pokemon game comes out, that'll be huge. I don't know if it will.
Yeah.
Animal Crossing could be really big. Like, everyone wants that. Yeah. Everyone who has a Switch wants Animal Crossing. Yeah. Like, if there's no Metroid, I don't know. I'm not sure yet. Maybe something brand new.
Because Donkey Kong would be to me, but, like, Tropical Freeze didn't do that well commercially, so it's like, is Donkey Kong...
It sold less because it's on the Wii U because of its stall base, but it still sold
decent,
considering
for what that is.
Okay, cool.
And if that was being worked on, it'd possibly be Retro. And what are they doing? I mean, it could be Retro's new game. Who knows about this? And I just let the thing slip from my head that I was going to give you as my answer.
F-Zero?
No. Crap.
Wario.
Smooth move.
No, man. I always do this way. Like, talk about something. I'm like,
Sorry.
I'll remember it in a second. It's always do it. I mean, because you're talking about like, Fire Emblem for Switch.
Fire Emblem,
a brand new one specifically for Switch, which is coming out next year.
Cool.
Will we get 2 versions though?
I don't think so. Not for Switch. That is a pretty popular franchise right now.
Yeah,
this is surprising to think of how like under the radar and used to be, and how it would be in doubt whether a new title would actually come to the West and be released outside of Japan. Cool. Now it's like definitely happening. But I mean, there's some other stuff. Like there's always the rumor that like, oh, what's Platinum's game? Mm-hmm. Like, is there a Wonderful 102, or will they re-release Wonderful 101? Will Bayonetta 3 come out on Switch?
I just think Mario and Zelda are in that perfect middle ground of casual consumer and hardcore gamer. I don't think a lot of games fit that bill so perfectly. Like, Mario and Zelda has worldwide appeal to every person, and I think Smash can also be that game. I'm just wondering if Nintendo has other franchises that are like that. Like, does Donkey Kong get everyone excited like a Mario and a Zelda and a Smash?
Not as much. Donkey Kong is decent enough, but it's not up there. I mean, Animal Crossing could be
cool
if they make the Switch Animal Crossing next year alongside the mobile. That could be.
It's the built-in online functionality.
There it is. That's what they're waiting for.
Yeah, they're waiting for that. They're waiting for the online.
I mean, they can turn around some of these B or even C tier franchises. If they can turn Fire Emblem around to what they've done so far, and think anything's possible. I think the hardest would be Star Fox, just because Star Fox Zero, I think in a lot of people's minds set that series back, and people just like they don't know what to do with Star Fox anymore. Same thing with like Kirby. There's new Kirby games coming out, but it never gets elevated beyond just looking like traditional Kirby. A new gimmick here or there, which is still good for people who love Kirby and still good games.
And Yoshi as well.
Same with Yoshi. Like those are just like their secondary series that come out to fill in the gaps. Yeah, they're still good. They're just not what you were talking about. Like they're not the big hitters. I do think there'll be a surprise. Oh, also, I don't know if it'll be next year either. Let's not forget, Monolith Soft, the makers of Xenoblade, already working on their next game. There's a concept art. Jeez. Everyone's like, it looks like a Souls game. I'm like, stop. I mean, that'd be awesome, but like, we need to stop using the word Souls to describe.
Never gonna happen. Never gonna happen.
But it looks more like fantasy. It looks fantasy style, like more like medieval warfare type, but like colorful.
If Phantasy Star Online came back, that would be the one. That'd be huge.
I don't know if it'd be huge. It'd be huge for us.
Yeah, true.
Star Online 2 is coming to Switch in Japan.
It is? Confirmed? Yeah, just not here.
It made Betty cry.
That's true. Yeah. God, that hurts.
Sega's apology.
Sega will apologize. Sega will apologize, but never say what for. We apologize.
Yeah, so that's pretty much it for the third party stuff. I'm sure as TGS is going on right now, there might be some more developments that we'll cover next time. But yeah, again, like good stuff for third party, and hopefully sometime next year hopefully before E3 we'll get like another decent sized direct that will show us what we have to look forward to in the rest of 2018 and more developments hopefully with third party support. But it's time to move on to our last segment of the show. which I renamed. I called it Player's Pulse, which is why I screwed up earlier in the episode and was called Dear Nintendo Player's Pulse, because it's a segment of the now defunct Nintendo Power. But I got a suggestion on Twitter for a new, or on Patreon for a new name. So in the feedback, let me know what you think about this. Someone said call it Patreon's Pulse or Patron's Pulse.
Patron's Pulse.
Patron's Pulse. Since it's
PP.
the patrons writing in. Because if you're a $5 and above patron,
Patron's Pulse.
the week of the recording of a new episode, I put up that post, and you can submit any questions related to Nintendo. And sometimes if I do know what we're talking about, I'll give you a hint. Like I did tell everyone, we'd definitely be talking about the Nintendo Direct. I think I mentioned Samus Returns, but that's kind of already talked a lot about on Frame Chat, and Ben did the review for that already. And I don't want to go way too long. We're already at the 1 hour mark, so no more 2 hour marathon episodes of this anymore. I apologize. I don't want that. Like I never wanted to be that. So I'll find another way to give my thoughts on Metroid Samus Returns at a different point. But here we go. We got 2 questions this episode. First from Darren. Hi, allies. I'm enjoying Metroid Samus Returns, but I find the art style to be a bit ugly, similar to Bloodstained in Mighty Number 9.
Whoa.
It's that weird, boring 3D art for a 2D game. My question is, do you think developers re-releasing a game or remaking one should put more time into giving the games a distinct, unique art style, since the design of the game has been previously created already? For example, my favorite game is Final Fantasy VI. It is already beautiful. If it is ever remade, as per Final Fantasy VII Remake, I do not want gross, realistic 3D graphics. Give me cel-shaded like Okami or anime aesthetic, or even HD 2D like Octopath Traveler.
Anime aesthetic.
Yeah. So what Darren says, it is irksome to me when I see a new entry in an established series that has so much of its pedigree, not just game, but like its aesthetic pedigree, comes from this beautiful sprite artwork from those retro days. One coming to mind is Strider. Like, as soon as I saw it, I'm like, wait, no, where's the art? The sprite art? No, art, what? I mean, I get why developers are going this route. I think it's a little easier for them to develop for.
Probably a lot cheaper too.
Probably a lot cheaper. I'm assuming it's a lot cheaper, and it just makes these games possible. Otherwise, it might have been cost prohibitive or too time prohibitive. That head honchos would have been like, no, not greenlighting this project. Yeah. So it's either this or nothing. Mm-hmm. In which case, I'd rather take something than nothing. Yeah. Especially for Metroid. I think the reason for Metroid Samus Returns, when I first saw it, I was like, why is it 3D but playing like 2D? Why didn't you just go with like nice sprite work? Like Nintendo can do this. That bothered me a little bit. I think it bothers me more simply for the fact that I played the unofficial remake,
you played
another Metroid
remake.
2 remake, the one that got cease and desist by Nintendo and stuff. That's why it's unofficial. There was so much love that went into that game in the sprite work. And I know it was like using Super Metroid and other established games sprites, their own touch on it. But there's something about that look, the atmosphere it set for some of those environments, compared to seeing them realized in this like 3D visuals they did for Samus Returns. Yeah. I would say that was one of the things that did actually disappoint me about that game. Is that while the visuals were okay, I played it completely in 3D, by the way. That extra depth for something did do something for me with those environments to make them look better. But the whole time I was just kind of lamenting, like, oh, it looks so much better in this other one. Like, I because someone showed me something better, it's hard to look at this.
Disconnect.
Which is unfair, because if you, like, in Nintendo's book, that other one doesn't exist. You should never have seen that. Yeah. So you shouldn't be judging it against them. Like, sorry, that's how it is. Yeah. But yeah, I do, for me. I don't know if it bugs either of you. When you
How old's the 3DS?
It came out in 2011.
6 years.
6 years old.
I don't think any game looks really good on 3DS. I'm sorry. Shots fired, sure. It's 6-year-old handheld tech. So,
for sure.
It looks as good as it can look without having some crazy sprite art style. I don't know. Like, I think you hit it on the head. Something is better than nothing. It's a phenomenal Metroid game.
Like they were saying, like Octopath Traveler. if they just like somehow realize like what environments that were originally drawn in sprites, but make them 3D, but the aesthetic makes it still look like a 3D sprite model.
Octopath Traveler is like high budget though. I mean, to release a demo like this as like kind of a beta, like they got some weight behind this, you know. Mercury Steam came off of the Castlevania Portable 1 and Castlevania Lords of Shadow 1 and 2. Like they were kind of on the, you know, in the doghouse for a little bit. So Metroid, you know.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily one. Like, I know a lot of people think like this, like, if it's not pixel, they don't care kind of thing like that. Like, pixel's always better in their mind. Mm-hmm. And I like pixel art, but I'm not, like, sometimes I don't think pixel art is as great as people think it is sometimes, you know? When I mean, I haven't played another remake or anything like that, so it didn't really bug me that much. Like, I think, like, I've played, like, maybe 40 minutes of the Samus Returns, and, like, I think it looks pretty good for what it is. Like, I think Samus's character model looks pretty decent and everything like that. But I get that because I remember when Street Fighter 4 came out. I do not like current Street Fighter art style at all. I miss the old Street Fighter art like way more.
That was a thing that was brought up around Street Fighter 4's release was the 3D models and aesthetic.
I mean, versus, I get it. You know, to change it up and everything like that, which is fine.
King of Fighters want to do that with 12 or whatever.
I mean, like, and 14's like that. It's like more 3D.
I'm trying to remember which one, like, the people just, like, lambasted it for weird visuals.
I mean, losing fixed cameras in Resident Evil, does that count? I mean, pre-rendered backgrounds being gone?
Came up with my Final Fantasy 4 stream. People keep asking me, like, well, why do you like the sprite versions, the definitive versions, over this 3D version for the
2DS one?
Yeah, the 2DS one.
Yeah.
Or DS one,
yeah,
sorry.
DS.
Jeez, 2DS. God, getting tricked by Nintendo already. Yeah, I'm like, I don't deny that, like, technically it looks nice, Final Fantasy 4 on DS, but aesthetically I don't like it as much as the sprite work.
The PSP one's your favorite, right?
Yeah, and I remember, I think there was like one part, Blood was making fun of the helmets for Kane and Cecil, like the Dark Knight thing. So it looked like he had like an alligator on his head or a bear on his head.
The PSP one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm with Blood on that.
Yeah. I was like laughing at that. But like some of the effects they do blend in 3D effects.
Yeah.
The spells look great.
But like I like that. I'd rather have 2D based games, like 2D design, like art, aesthetic design and artwork mixing in 3D effects. So whatever the opposite of 2.5D is.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm just like a little bit of a sucker for like, retro
I mean,
stuff,
I think a lot of people. I like both, honestly. I'm cool. Like with 4 specifically, I like all the versions of it. Like I like the DS version. I like the Super Nintendo version. I like the PSP version.
Yeah, I mean, I played the DS version so many times I got the locked out. Remember, you beat it like 4 or 10 times on the same save file. You get like the star thing, and you can never replay it again.
Whoa!
It's just like a badge of like you played it so many times.
They're telling you to stop.
You're like, you can't play this game anymore.
It's enough.
So intense.
You can't play this game anymore.
Whoa.
You go to a new save file, but like you can't play this file anymore.
Gosh.
The journey is over.
The journey's over. Hang it up.
Move on. Got like 16 other Final Fantasies to play.
No, come on,
15.
Move along. Buy some other games for Square Enix.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, last thing I say, like I do think sometimes it lends to some of these games looking too generic.
For sure,
it loses a little bit of the personality that made.
It's because so many other games are using that kind of style. Because it's probably like affordable and easier to do nowadays with where tech's at. Like I think sprite work is kind of like an art form, man. It's hard to find people who are super good at it, probably. Yeah, I mean, that developer, they know how to make games like that. What's up? Like, all their games look good.
So so there's a question from both Steven Sosa and, I apologize if I get your name wrong here. I don't know if it's Dafyd, because it's Dafydd, or if it's Daffy, like it's a pen name. So I apologize, but they both wrote in with pretty much the same question, so I'm giving them both credit for this. Hi panel, what are your thoughts on showing too much of a video game actually making the purchase less appealing? When I see a movie trailer, sometimes I get the impression that I've just watched all the best bits, and some trailers basically showcase the entire plot. In the Nintendo Direct, we saw extended footage of both Xenoblade Chronicles 2 and Super Mario Odyssey. So how do you feel about that?
I got an answer for this. I'm very emotionally invested in this question. It's on you. In this day and age, it is 100% on the consumer to watch or don't watch. You know, they are making those to sell the game. They're trying to sell the video game. They're trying to sell the movie. They're throwing it out at people that are maybe on the fence about buying it or they don't know about it. So that's what that's for, you know. That Mario stuff, hey, we're going to show Mario. Click, buy. I don't want to see that. I'm not watching that. Are you kidding me right now? No.
Yeah.
Like, the joy of discovering new worlds in Mario is part of the experience, if you will. Like, that, I love that, you know, especially Evil Within 2, I'm on media blackout. I don't want to see any of the freakos.
Yeah.
I don't want to see any of the environments. Like, that is such a big thing of, like, where in the world of STEM am I going to go next? Like, that suspense, that surprise. Whereas, you know, a movie trailer for, let's say, American Assassin. This is a movie that I know nothing about. I would not be interested otherwise. Sure, I'll watch this trailer. Oh, Michael Keaton looks cool. Like, oh, that looks like some cool action. Sure, maybe I'll see this, maybe not. But, like, Blade Runner, from my favorite director right now, like, I love the original. I'm obviously going to see this movie. Click, media blackout. Like, it's 100% on the viewer to watch or not watch. That's a separate thing from spoilers and from it being spoiled. You know, like when you are in control. Like, close your eyes. Like, I close my eyes sometimes in movie theaters. Like, the Blade Runner trailer comes on, I close my eyes. I don't watch. So, but again, that's different from Twitter, where people just blast out spoilers and, you know, blast out images of Mario doing this and that and blast out, you know, the endings of games. Like, that is a whole nother discussion. But as far as, you know, choosing to watch or not watch a Nintendo Direct showcase of Mario, it's on you.
Yeah, I'm with Mike on this. 100%, man. Same thing, because we both do it.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that. We haven't seen
It's
that
hard
Mario
work.
footage. Yeah.
It's such hard work. You know, it's
like,
extreme.
It's tempting. Like,
it's a little
to see.
ridiculous.
Yeah, it is.
Like, but yeah. And again, that is an entirely separate thing from people spoiling things, you know?
So, yeah, I do feel like it is, in a lot of situations, it is on the person. So I agree with you on that. Like, if you have the means where you're presented, like, you're being told in advance,
Yeah.
you'll be watching
here
something
is Mario.
about this. Do you want to watch it or not?
Yeah.
It's up to you. We're going to play it,
Yeah.
but because other people want to watch it, it's up to you.
Yeah.
So in that regard, yes, there are certain things you can do. Obviously, for one thing, it is our jobs. So if like everyone who was on that reaction stream to Nintendo Direct closed their eyes, didn't actually watch it, and then we talked to everything. Oh, they did new Mario stuff, but none of us watched it. We would have been like roasted
For sure.
by like our chat. And
There
like,
are times when you got to bite the bullet. Thank you,
Yes.
Daniel Bloodworth, for always biting that bullet. Call Bloodworth out right now,
Yeah,
doing
'cause
like
Everyone watched it except Kyle, right?
Yeah.
Kyle didn't want to say anything like that. And like I'm like that about like certain things, like especially like Zelda. I will watch all their official trailers because I don't think they give away. I don't think Zelda's ever been bad about giving away too much at all. Like even that last trailer, I think just teased enough. I had like no idea. Like I speculated about so many different things that could possibly be, and in the end I was wrong about like all of them. So like I trust them that like they're just doing stuff to mess with like people like me half the time, and it's not really spoiling anything, which is great. I like when trailers show you stuff that you think you might be spoiled, but it's like just adding to the mystery, which I think that takes a lot of like talent and work to really understand. Like, has someone has to be intimately familiar with the full work already without it being seen by most anyone, and knowing what are they like gonna get push people's buttons to get them to think about that, and then like they're thrown for a loop. That's why a lot of trailers now create fake footage, because people it's not them being lazy, it's just so hard to do and you don't know the time that they just create fake scenes for the trailer. Like, oh, you thought this was a funny joke, huh? It's not a movie anywhere. So I don't know if that's a good way to go to maybe cover that up, but I think that would anger people in video games if they ever try to do that.
Oh my
yes,
gosh,
they
yeah.
do that.
Like-
Look at Destiny. Look at Destiny.
Metal Gear Solid
Yeah.
2!
Or Metal Solid 2.
And always, and remember too, like, we are attached to Mario. We grew up with Mario, played Mario. Like, obviously, I don't want to see this because I'm already invested and I'm gonna buy it. You just say Super Mario, I'm in, right? But there's always the next generation that has never played a Mario game. There are those people that have never played Mario, so they're like, "Oh, Mario Odyssey, what's this all about?" Like, I'll check this out. Cool. It's like, why do we not go media blackout for games we've never heard of? Because we've never heard of them, and we're not intimately attached to them as it is. It's mostly just for sequels and things of that nature, where we can say, "Yo, we're so attached to this franchise. Like, I don't want to see anything. Like, I want to be surprised. I want to be." I don't want spoilers. Like, I don't want it. I'm already sold. Like, we're buying it. You don't need to sell us. We're buying it. So it's mainly for marketing and to show people that are not as emotionally invested in it.
Yeah, and I do not fault the companies that make these trailers because, as you said, it's their job. They need to get sales. They need to sell the product. And
I totally...
If it requires them to show something that you might think is a spoiler, but, like, to someone else... They might have been like, everything they saw was like, whatever. And then they see that one thing, and that thing, like, holy crap, that's going to be in that game? Or that movie? I'm in. You got me. And, like, they need to do that.
Like, when they showed all the Xenoblade, I thought of you guys, or, like, it was one of you guys saying it, or Bloodworth or something, about trying to demo a huge JRPG at a trade show and how hard it is. Like, playing Xenoblade at E3 or TGS is weird. This trailer showed... It's like a tutorial, It's like, what are you going to do in this game? What is this game?
Yeah.
So
I mean, they did show a lot for that. I don't think that was the best avenue for it. I mean, it was whoa, they're giving it a lot of screen time. They show they care about it. But I personally would have, if it was my choice, I would have been like, a little bit of that would have been in there, so like a trailer and that release date at the end. And then save that other stuff for like its own video separately or something. Like, didn't need to be in there. I think it was too much.
But to go back to that, to be fair, like, it is on you, but I do think they show too much.
Yes.
Case in point, we were just talking about Kingsman 2.
Yes.
And Matthew Vaughn came out super pissed about the marketing team showing stuff that he didn't want shown, and it's like, the marketing team is a machine. They're
like
numbers.
It's like a separate entity almost from the developers.
They're not. Yeah, they don't have. Maybe don't have the passion and the love and the care for the product itself. They're there to be disconnected from it and sell it to as many people as possible. I just wish they would have more faith in the audience and the viewer and the consumer to maybe hold some stuff back.
Yeah.
Very good points. It's gonna wrap it up. It's a good talk, but we're at the end of this episode.
That was fun, Damiani.
I want to thank you both for joining me on that lengthy excursion.
Glorious Saturday.
Glorious
Nice
Saturday
weather
with the glorious thing that we've been sitting here not acknowledging at all.
I was just looking at all these tens.
It was
right
very
there.
distracting,
Swimming
actually.
in
Like,
10.
All these tens.
Swimming in 10.
10,
just
10, 10,
staring
10,
into
10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10.
Look at all that.
5 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars.
Yeah.
5.
We will be doing a big group stream on Friday with this thing right here. So look forward to the details of that. About the time this goes up for patrons, we'll have those details. But as always, for the patrons poll section, $5 and up patrons, you get to ask questions. I'll select as many as I can. It's usually about 2 in each episode is what I'll be able to work in. And I apologize if I don't get to yours either, because we probably talked about it, or we're going to talk about it, or just, again, we just don't have enough time, and I apologize. And again, if you are $1 or above patron, you get this early, as long as we don't shoot this on Sundays. Today's Saturday, so it should go up tomorrow at a reasonable time, but I apologize for last episode, because it pretty much went up for everybody at the same time Tuesday morning, because we shot it on Sunday evening. It just was not happening. But I do want to say one last thing before we sign off here. Thank you for your support, obviously, in making the show happen. And it's that support that we do need, because the show is actually one of the tier goals. That is a $40,000 tier for our Patreon. And along with Reaction Shots, Ian's movie podcast, which Huber is also a part of. If we slip back below that amount, both these shows will no longer continue until we go over that mark. So if you would like to see these shows continue, we do need that support as much as you were willing to give us and stuff. We are very appreciative, and thank you for it because you make this happen. So yeah, you want this to keep going. We need your support. We've been like very like not I don't want to say coy, but we've been very like we love everyone and stuff. Everyone's like great and everything. We really don't need to do the pitch. We decided that like we kind of need to do a little bit of a pitch. So I'm being transparent with you as well, telling you that it's a pitch and stuff. So hopefully, let me know if you're like, Damiani, shut up. I don't need to hear about this. We know this and stuff. Like, I'm just doing the business end and stuff. So please forgive me for doing
Damiani.
that.
You don't see it that often.
Yeah, bad corporate Damiani here. I apologize, but I'd like the show to keep going. So it needs to stay above 40,000. So that is my pitch to you all. With that is the end of this episode of Friend Code. Thank you again, Brad. Thank you again, Huber, for joining me. And we will all see you next time on Friend Code.